morning. It's 6:15 a.m. I'm back in the mountains, which is a good thing. It's raining, which could be better. And I'm in a little bit of civilization, which could be better. But every opportunity is a good one, so I'm going to take it. With the family up at Wintergreen, Virginia. You can see here the condos behind me. We're staying in one of these for a long weekend. It's July, what is it, the 11th, Saturday, July 11th. So I'm going to set out this morning early and do, I don't know, 6 or 7 miles on part of the perimeter trails up here, including the old Appalachian Trail. But I got to do some road walking to get to the trailhead. And as I mentioned, I got to deal with a fair amount of rain. It's fairly light right now, but I think it's going to come down a little harder before it's all said and done. So we'll see how much filming I can get away with doing. 3,600 feet now, though, and I think I'm going to get up to 3,800, and probably as low as 24. So this will be definitely one of those with a fair amount of elevation. It's a bit of a test. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I don't get too wet and it turns out to be a good morning. Something a little spooky about a ski lift in the summer in the fog and the rain. I'm sure this is beautiful most of the time. It's been raining really hard, and I'm down at Shamokin Falls and the creek that goes down to those falls. It's still raining, but it's slackened off quite a bit. It's been so deep and dark up inside these woods with the clouds and the rain coming down. I put the camera away for fear of it being wet, but also just because couldn't have seen anything anyway. It's been so dark. So I think I'm at my low point. I'm at about 2,600 feet now, and starting to go up this creek valley. It's a pretty little creek, but I've been a little bit dismayed about how much I keep coming down. So now I got to get all the way back up to the top of the hill. So hopefully this rain will stop before too long. I can dry out some. This is what the trail's looking like. It's just all rock climbing. And somewhere under here, I'm sure you can hear it. Somewhere down in there is the creek, and it's flowing well. Rain's starting to pick up again. One thing I didn't mention is the going has been slow, not only because of the rain and the dark and the going uphill, but because with all this rain, all these rocks are really slick. I'm really glad to have poles today. So I'm headed up Shamokin Gorge still. Still probably 300 feet short of the crest of the ridge, but essentially went up 200 in one fell swoop, climbing straight up a cliff. So that was entertaining. Very slow, but it was entertaining. Hi, dear. There's one. I'm not very afraid. deer of the cloud forest. So I'm taking a risk and pulling the camera back out. Still dripping off the trees, but the rain has pretty much subsided. I'm in the clouds. I've had it down to as much as maybe 30 yards visibility, and then it'll open up. I just kind of came out up on top of the ridge, and so it's I'm still slowly climbing up the spine, but it's bright up here, I think, just because the trees are getting thinner and I've got sunlight trying to poke through. I didn't mention I'm walking the route of the old Appalachian Trail. It's probably about a 4 or 5 mile stretch through here that was relocated, frankly, to get it away from Wintergreen. There's too many little residential houses and stuff up here. So the trail's been relocated off the ridge down to the west a bit. But this old route, it makes up part of the perimeter trail system for Wintergreen, so still maintained, still nice. I also didn't mention it's only about 64, 65 degrees out here, which is nice. However, yeah, there's an example. I don't know if you can see it in the fog, but tree, but a house right there. So that's why the AT's been moved. So it's only mid-60s, but with this rain coming down and me having to wear the raincoat, it's been a real challenge to stay cool, because you get hot in this thing, and it was coming down enough that I didn't want to unzip any vents. I mean, it was pouring there for a while. No thunder, but it might as well have been. It was really coming down. So, anyway, I'm along the spine of the ridge. I ought to be making better time now, catching back up with the family. The whole extended family, my brother's family's out, my mom and dad. Nobody wanted to come out with me in the rain this morning. I can understand that. And although I'm sure that nobody's doing much outside and waiting for me to go somewhere this morning, I still don't want to take a lot of time, because we are all in the group vacation mode. So it's only about 8:15 now. Yeah, about 8:15. So I'll try to run back by 9 if I can. So my optimism did not pay off. After I last talked, the rain just kept getting harder and harder, and the rocks got slipperier and slipperier, and I had some significant up to do. I was at the ridge at 3,300, but like I say, the top was at 38. So it's been like this. You can probably see it is really foggy, and it's been like this pretty much since I'm done. I wound up bailing out when the old AT ran into one of the roads up here at Wintergreen. I had called just to see if I could get a ride home, because it just the rain and the road walk I didn't really have much enthusiasm for. So nobody got my message for a while though, so I actually walked to within 100 yards of the house before anybody found me. Here's the house, isn't it nice? So 6.5 miles all told, in the rain, very wet. My pack did really well. I think it kept most everything dry. I'll have to pull everything out in a while just to make sure, but there's no point in doing it now because I can't dry it out. Anyway, not the best conditions, but certainly, you can't be picky sometimes. So with all the rain coming down, I didn't get a real chance to show you a whole lot of Wintergreen. I did want to point out there's 30 miles of trails here. The perimeter would be a very aggressive 13.2 mile loop. Lots of up and down around the top of the mountain. But there's also other cool stuff around here. You can go tubing, even in the summer. They've got it rigged up to go tubing. There's Lots of activities at the resort if you're staying there. There's a lake associated with the resort down at the bottom with all kinds of cool stuff. And the views are great from up here, except for when you're hiking in the fog. We had a great time. Really nice spot to come and get into some cool air in the middle of the summer, and really enjoyed it. So we'll be coming back.